Good evening. You're listening to Adrenaline Radio. I'm your host for Adrenaline Motorsports. My name is Fred Blanchard, and thank you for listening. We have two in-studio guests tonight that are from the car show field. Basically, they are a couple of guests one was a contender for a Riddler Award in the Detroit Autorama, and his name is Brian Basic, and the owner of Roseville Rod and Custom is Benjamin York. Brian, what I'd like to talk to you about is what got you interested in building a car that would compete for such a prestigious award such as the Riddler Award at the Detroit Autorama?
Well, I began my career, I went to my first drag race in 1959 and at Dragway 42, and I was smitten after that, and I ended up just falling in love with muscle cars. And then I went on to school, and then I graduated from college, and I ended up going into my father's business. And then later on, I live in a city called Brunswick, Ohio, and it came to be that there's a Carney's restaurant in the drive-in, and he started putting on a car show, and we became the second biggest unorganized car show in the United States. And on a Saturday night, we would get 1,000 cars. It just was incredible. So every April and through October, I would just go up there, and I started to look around and seeing all these kids coming in there with these muscle cars, and I thought, boy, I got to get back into this. So I one day in a national dragster, I was getting the paper. A young gentleman named Jeff Church of Church Fabrication put an ad in this paper because I wanted to have control over building a car. So I called this kid up, and he thanked me that nobody would give him a chance because he wasn't known, and he couldn't get known if nobody would give him a chance. So I had him, I wanted a muscle car. So I wanted a pro modified Camaro for the street. And I contracted with him, and in 17 months later, this Camaro was finished, and it was out of this world, a beautiful car. And I never heard of the Riddler Award. And the Riddler Award is Don Riddler was a young man in the Michigan Hot Rod Association, which puts on this show, and it's for the best new car in the United States that has never been seen. And people were telling me when they saw the car 80 to 90% done, my God, you ought to try to enter this car into the Riddler. And I go, what's the Riddler Award? And people started telling me, you got a shot at this. And so we completed the car in December and January of 1999, and in February the show took place. I took the car up there, and lo and behold, I made the grade 8, which is there was approximately 45 cars that were entered for the Riddler Award, which is the best new car in the United States. And I was chosen, and it's really a prestigious award because they don't like modern cars. They really do like the old Roadsters and 32 Fords and things like that. And here comes a young guy with a 1,700 horsepower Camaro that you put the brakes on, and the rear, unless the line locks on, the rear tires will dig almost through the concrete. And they went crazy up there. And I took a chance, and I loved metal flake paint when I was a kid, and they came out with a prismatic paint, and we did fadeaways. It goes from pink into purples into golds, and it's just it's an amazing car.
Well, I got to tell you, Brian, in seeing some of the photos that you've brought and shared with us just a while back, some of the things in the articles I saw, and it was just impressive. I think that your car made some magazines, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us a little bit about that. How did you get involved with that?
After I made the Riddler, the grade 8, I ended up being the best car of the show because there's only one person that could win the Riddler Award. There were 7 others of us. So I made the best of the Autorama in the year 1999. Then Popular Hot Rodding heard of the car, and they came down to Alliance, Ohio, where the car was stored at the builders. And I made the front cover of the first generation of the year 2000 of the new millennium. And then I was Don Garlitz's pick. I made the Street Machine Nationals Grand Champion. I was the Hot Rod Nationals Grand Champion. It was I was on television. The cars won every award in the United States that year.
Wow. Listen, that is just impressive. Now, in all the things that you had to prepare the car for, my understanding with our conversation that we had in the past, that parts actually had to be sent out of state for some of the processes you did with some of the materials on the car. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, the entire car is either polished, chromed, or painted. Advanced Plating did all of the chrome plating in Kentucky, in Tennessee, and everything that was handmade, everything was billet aluminum. There was nothing on that car. We started with a tube frame. It took them 17 months to complete the project, and there was not a thing that we bought off the shelf on that car.
Boy, oh boy, that is really impressive. I'd like you to talk a little bit about your current project. You've mentioned that you didn't stop at the Riddler Award when you got this car finished. You started thinking of about a new project. Why don't you share a little information on that? What brought you to that point?
Well, after I brought this car out, and it had such acclaim, and people liked the muscle car for once against like 32 Fords, that I decided that I was going to go one step farther and do something that was never done. And I was at the Hot Rod Nationals with my Camaro in year 2000, and I saw a 35 Chevy, and the guy opened the hood up, and I almost had heart failure, because at that time that was pretty rare. He had a set of Nick Arias Hemi Chevy heads on this car, and I went, oh my goodness, I have never seen anything like this. Where'd you get them? And he says there's a company out in California, in Gardena, California, Arias Industries, and so I tracked it down, and I got their phone number, and lo and behold, I called Fred Blanchard, who I'm speaking to right now, and told him what I wanted to do. And what I was doing is building a 1933 Willys Pie Wagon, which is probably the only car in the whole United States. It was hand-built, hand-laid off of a original 1933 Willys. And then I figured, well, to knock them dead, I have air-conditioned seats, air ride, stereo system, Xbox, and it's just unbelievable. But I wanted some more horsepower, so Fred Blanchard helped me out and got all the parts for me, and the PSI screw blower that he had, and it's probably on alcohol. It's probably about 2,500 horsepower, I would estimate, and this is going to be for the street, and that's what we're working on now.